why are there black bars on the stream? What?
There aren't on OBS.
They're on Twitch. Let me full screen it. Oh no, they're gone. But what? Twitch
You
is just
fucking
weird.
dumb motherfucker.
It's added some black bars.
What's wrong with that?
That's just black balls or bars?
Black balls. There's just pictures of black men's balls.
Yeah, everywhere.
Oh, just minimize your other browser. That's what you were looking at. You know what? I watched an episode of New Girl last night. It's a television show over here in the Americas.
See, this is what I hate about that show. It's called New Girl, but it has multiple seasons. So like after season 1, it's just like same girl.
If the shows had to update their titles based on what was going on, then every show, well, not every show, like Seinfeld would be very accurate because he is still Seinfeld.
Yeah, exactly. Could you imagine if he changed his name though?
Name another show that actually changes and the title is no longer relevant after season 4.
New Girl.
Have you ever watched that show though?
No. It's with
it's hilarious.
Some Mindy girls on there, or am I thinking of the show Mindy?
Yeah, you're not thinking of the girl from Elf. Remember the movie Elf with Will Ferrell?
Am I way off?
Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah.
Zoe Deschanel, yeah.
Or is it Reese Witherspoon?
Oh, I heard she got murdered.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, the joke goes, what's that actress who got Reese? She was recently murdered. She was in Legally Blonde. No, with her knife. Classic.
Yeah.
What's the worst like knock? What's the worst joke you've heard? Maybe like one of the first jokes you ever learned, or just like a really corny one that I'm just gonna cringe at when I hear it.
The orange, you glad I didn't say banana?
How many times do you say knock knock? Who's there? Banana.
I go twice and then hit the punchline on the third.
Yeah, anytime more than there's those kids that would do it like 10 times.
Yeah, and then like you would get in trouble for beating them up.
But he said the joke 8 times. Bailey, are you still here?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Very
good,
sad.
guys. Why?
Because this is happening.
Wow. Wow.
Welcome to episode 6 of the BDP podcast, the #1 source for aglet fashion in the modern world.
For those of you who we laughed at the pause between BD because we recently changed from the BPD podcast to the BDP podcast.
And the reason for that change is because every time I would go to upload the podcast to YouTube, I have this add-on called vidIQ that helps you with like tags and other things. And it would always recommend tags to me. It said, you should tag this as borderline personality disorder and Baltimore Police Department. And I would go, well, these are not helpful.
They are.
That's
Let's do a whole pod on police department.
We will someday, once we run out of other stuff to talk about.
Episode 107.
Well, I also like the other reason that would you guys be down for, like, if we had merch or whatever? We're also known as the Best Damn Podcast.
Isn't that what this stands for?
Yeah, but I'm looking at the screen and it says Best Damn Podcast.
Yeah, I know.
Well, somebody recommended we have this stand for Best Damn Podcast. I was like, oh, I really like that. But then I Googled Best Damn Podcast and then I found multiple podcasts.
Well, we're
that's why we're BDP.
Exactly.
Yeah, the big dulcing picks. DC, I heard that you recently tried Zapp's potato chips, which are from my home state, and you quite enjoyed them.
I did enjoy them. All right, so how would you describe the flavor of a Zapp? What did I have? The Voodoo?
You had the Voodoo, yeah.
How would you describe what flavor that is?
It's so it's kind of it's sort of spicy, but it's not like a heat, which is.
I apologize. My heater in the background. You hear this thing? It's gonna growl at us for a second.
No, I don't hear
you hear
it.
that?
No.
Thanks, DC.
You don't hear it?
Nope.
No.
Dude, every time I'm on my OnlyFans show, everybody's always like, "Oh, what is that thing behind you? We can hear the heat." Anyway, all right, Pound. I didn't want that to go on.
No,
while you were talking.
You segued into a great memory of mine. There's this semi-famous porn video. It's like a amateur, like a OnlyFans kind of thing, and they're just fucking. And for the entire 8 minutes, their sink is just like running in the background, and it's way louder than any other sound. So like they're trying to they're like, "Oh yeah, fuck me," but it's more like, Oh yeah, fuck me. And like the faucet is so much louder. Isn't
I
that a
love when
great
you like.
story?
I love when you like go into your like funny porn vault story, and it's just like you have a story about porn, about anything in the world, right? I could be like, my favorite food is Cheetos, and you'd be like, that reminds me of a porno. And then
No,
we would
nothing
just.
comes to mind. I'm not some animal.
Okay, that's fine.
That's
Wait,
DC's
whoa,
one.
so voodoo chips. Oh, we'll go back to this. You would say spicy.
Yeah, but it's not like it's just flavorful. I can't even fully describe it. It just like it literally feels like it's like exploding on your tongue. Like it's very powerful. And I think you had the same experience. Whenever I get to the last few chips of it, it's almost like my tongue is bleeding. Like my tongue
Yeah.
hurts from eating it.
Why are they orange?
I guess it's
Is that like a barbecue dusting that they're trying to like go for?
I'm not the history expert on Zaps. I'm more of just a enjoyer of the taste. But
Bailey, what for you who hasn't tried these chips yet? Imagine every flavor. This is what these chips remind me of. And yes, my tongue was literally like curdling by the end of it because it was so much flavor. But imagine they took every chip flavor, like barbecue, salt and vinegar, like sweet onion.
yeah, it does kind of have like a salt
And
and
they just
vinegar to it.
and they just throw them all in one flavor packet and just dump them on these chips. That's what it's like.
It sounds good. I don't know what you're complaining
Oh
about.
wait, Bailey didn't understand any of that. I meant crisps. Sorry.
DC, you woke up really differently today.
What do you mean?
Not that I'm stood outside your window watching how you wake up, but you have an entirely different energy today.
I have good energy.
You said that in the group chat this morning. Good energy, boys.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh no, that was because I was being sarcastic
Yeah,
because
I
our
know.
energy was really bad.
It's funny though.
All right, fine. I'll tone it down. I'll take it down a notch.
I can
All
take
right,
it down
easy,
a notch.
fellas.
Oh, okay. I had a good transition, and sounds like no.
You're allowed to say it.
Well, I'll take it down a notch, and I'll go to some viewer questions because viewers are below us and suck. Haha.
Isn't there a food in Britain called a notch?
Is this a shit joke?
No, I was just asking. Jesus, not everything's a joke. I was just like, I remember, you'd go to the pub and you'd be like, give me a bottle of Guinness and a few notches to snack on.
No.
Okay, we'll continue with the viewer question.
Okay, I'll go to this one. Do we have any plans to have themed podcasts? And the example is Valentine's Day for February, but also there's whatever other events that happen. And we've discussed it briefly, even today we discussed it briefly. But I don't know if you had any cool ideas, Pound or DC.
I love the idea of themed podcasts.
But like,
I definitely want to have a holiday themed ones. Like, yeah, we can start with Valentine's Day for the first one.
what would we do?
What do you? Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. What do you see happening?
Well, it could just be, like for a Christmas episode, we could talk about. Didn't we talk about our favorite gifts? Or
No.
I don't
never
Imagine
mind. That's
we
just what I
have-
did with my family. Never mind.
We have the Discord viewer. We have the channel open, and you can hop in for free love advice with the BDP
that is
podcast.
great.
That's a great idea.
That is immense.
Immensely good.
Yeah.
And then it's just what it is just us taking turns doing fake voices with crazy situations. Hey, yeah, I love this girl. Yeah, we could do that.
That's what all the viewers sound like anyway. Next.
Oh,
I got
do you
another
guys
one.
wait? Oh, go ahead. I just wait. Quick question about Valentine's Day in Britain, in elementary school,
Britain.
primary schools. Do you guys on Valentine's Day? Did you
Y'all
used to
fuck.
like make a little shoebox with a hole in it and then walk around and put Valentine's and candy in everybody's boxes?
No.
What? Pound? Did you do that down in Louisiana?
Doesn't come to mind. We would
Wow.
take shoe boxes, cut a hole in it, and we'd put our cocks in it.
I
and be
knew
like,
you were
"Hey,
gonna
open-
say
open
that.
it up." I thought that's what DC was gonna say.
That reminds me of a funny porno, actually. No, dude, that's what we did, and kids still do it these days up here.
There were some. Maybe this was one school I went to, but you had to on Valentine's, you had to write a nice letter to somebody, and it was just sort of a writing exercise. And they're like, "Oh, we'll theme around Valentine's," and then you could just send it to somebody in class. But no, there was never giving people boxes full of shit.
So, okay. No. You made a shoebox, right? You decorated it with Valentine's Day
Right.
stickers and construction paper, and then you cut a little hole in the top. And then separately, you go to the store and buy 30 individual, they came in packs, but 30 little Valentines that you rip up and staple a piece of candy to or something like that. And then you go around class and you drop one in everybody's box. And the one person that you really liked, they got like an individualized Valentine, you know?
This sounds like really cool, but no. Never
What's probably
heard.
confusing to a lot of our international viewers is that Valentine's Day is what it's called in America, but in Britain it's called Hardy Girl Day.
Great. You done?
Yeah. Sometimes I can't be asked right now.
I can't. I really can't be asked.
I know Pound was just sitting there with a grin on his face the whole time after he said that too.
In Britain, it's called Cock Grabby Day.
I don't get it. What's the joke?
Well, you just go up to like a girl you like, and you're like, "Oh, would you like to grab my cock today?"
Why is that British?
Yeah,
Because y'all have all these funny words for stuff.
How is cock a British word?
I hate that word, by the way.
It's
That's one of
just
my least
wrong.
favorite words is cock.
I just Googled it, and it said that the most common used word in Britain is "I," but then the second most used word is "cock."
It's just not true. Fuck off. Right.
Like-
Oh yeah, it says that right here on Wikipedia. Actually, when you Google
Let
Britain.
me give you an example sentence, right? So, the Queen is giving a tea to a guy, and he's like, "Oh, I just spilt it on my cock."
Why do you say of a hate?
What?
And you enunciate the reason I hate the word cock so much because it's aggressive at the beginning and the end.
Just like sex with my cock.
I hate this right now. I hate this. All right, what's next? What else? What were we talking about before Valentine's Day? Did you guys
We're talking
do
about
anything in
themed
primary
podcasts.
school?
Okay. I have a question.
All right, well, ask it.
Right. Favorite restaurant or fast food chain? And then,
It has to be a chain specifically.
well, preferably so we know what it is.
Yeah.
And then outside of just favorite restaurant or fast food chain, generally, if you could do a video with Mel and Chris or the Elliott family, which fast food chain or restaurant would you take them to?
Nobody's gonna get who that is.
Yeah, that's a
Well, that's the question.
that's a deeply embedded joke in our culture.
Well, you can just answer the first part, but
But the first part, I'm not even going to answer because it says if you were in a food review with Mel's and
no,
Chris
that's
or
the
the Elliott
second part.
I know. Okay, well, the second part, because it matters drastically on which one it is.
Okay.
But we won't worry about that.
Oh my God, Bailey, did you make up that last part?
No, it's number 17 on the form.
Okay, DC, what is your favorite fast food or restaurant chain? And don't say Olive Garden.
Wait, you just accused me of making that up.
And what benefit would he get from that?
To fuck with us.
It's not even funny.
I don't even think he.
Oh, it's not funny. Therefore, it would never be said on this podcast. That's right.
True. We are the one-stop shop for comedy.
Our classic
so
catchphrase.
my favorite fast food chain is Chick-fil-A. I don't think they have. Do they have that
cut
over there,
out. I
Bailey?
didn't hear what you said.
My favorite fast food chain is Chick-fil-A.
No, we don't have
Oh, that is wonderful.
But then, like, out of the main
that.
three,
Well, you
right?
can
You got
go with that one,
McDonald's.
Just explain what it is.
Oh, I am gonna go with Chick-fil-A. What it is, a fast food place that specializes in chicken, right?
Nice.
So
It specializes
they
in
have the
service.
best fried chicken, and then what they do uniquely is they give you waffle fries. They don't give you French fries. And
Wow.
but the reason Chick-fil-A, now that I'm thinking about it, is the best. Because the chicken is always like tender and moist, and that's another word a lot of people don't like. Moist doesn't get me that bad. But they have the best dipping sauces. The best dipping sauces I've ever had. So that's why I picked Chick-fil-A.
You named like all the stuff people never bring up when they say why they like Chick-fil-A. People like Chick-fil-A because it is the cleanest restaurant like ever, and every single employee says thank you, excuse
Yeah, they are
me, sir,
extremely
ma'am.
polite.
They're like that. Like you, like I think I'm making this up, but like if you don't say thank you to a customer, like you're not gonna work there anymore. Like they have ingrained being polite into every single employee.
Yeah, they are extremely. They're always in the news for some political controversy. You guys can look into that if you'd like. And some people won't eat at this establishment because of their stance. But Yeah, they are it's a very well run company. Very clean, very nice, very friendly, and
Just slightly racist
yeah.
when it comes to politics.
No, it's the CEO donated to groups that were opposed to gay marriage.
Yeah, they're closed on Sundays, right? Because that's God's day.
Yeah,
so they're
which
never
is
open on Sunday.
crazy that they're closed 14% of the days, and they're still one of the biggest fast food chains.
Yeah. And I always seem to want to go to Chick-fil-A on a Sunday, and it's just like, I mean, that's the weekend. That's like when you're out and about, and so they're missing out. I mean, it's obviously they're doing fine, but imagine how much more they would sell if they were open on Sunday.
Oh yeah, it's but it's it's very nice for the workers to know they always have that day off.
But if I had to pick between the big three, right? And can we agree that the big three are Wendy's, McDonald's, and Burger King?
No, we don't have Wendy's.
I would have said that.
Oh, you don't have Wendy's? What do you have over there? What are
Now,
the top three?
Look, you're asking somebody. You're asking the wrong person. Is what I'm gonna say. I'm from Norfolk, so we only have
We have Mickey D's,
right.
Burger Queen.
We have huge chains, right? They're like huge, or we have small businesses. There's none of those middle ground ones. So it is literally sort of just the big three: McDonald's, Burger King, and KFC here. And I know you guys fucking despise KFC.
KFC?
But apparently it's
Oh
really
my
different
God.
here. Apparently yours sucks ass, but ours is pretty good.
Do you know the story of the Colonel who opened KFC?
I do not pound no.
After he sold the restaurant to like a big business, and they cut costs to like make extra money and stuff, so the chicken started tasting like shit. And so he would dress up as Colonel Sanders, and he would go into the different KFCs, order the food, eat it, and when it tasted like shit, he would just like grab the tables and start like throwing them across the room and be like, "This fucking sucks. You ruined my restaurant."
Is this real?
Yes. I mean,
Oh.
it might be like a urban legend or something,
Right.
but yes, you can find sources of it happening that might be illegitimate. But yes, there's
Yeah, Pound
real. I
has-
didn't make it up, is what I'm saying.
Pound has this way of delivering jokes that they often sound like he's not joking. And so, yeah, Bailey, when he started that joke, I thought there was a good chance.
No,
he was
I
kidding.
thought he was telling the truth, but I didn't believe if like the sources were accurate.
Oh.
I feel like
No,
it's just like a publicity sort of thing, you know?
Yeah. Is it true that in Britain KFC stands for Kentucky Fried Cock?
Yeah.
Oh my.
'Cause I just love the word so much.
Yo, Subway. Have you guys noticed? Everybody says there's a McDonald's or a Starbucks on every
I
corner.
can't believe Badger just put Subway up with McDonald's. They are not on the same level.
Well, as far as size, there's like 3 times as many Subways.
Yeah, Subway. I think that's the biggest fast food chain in terms of quantity
In terms
of
of
establishments
locations, yeah.
around the
I
world.
don't know if it is
I think
here. I would disagree.
I was walking. I walk a lot on my work break and during the workday, and down in the city, there's a Subway like every 2 or 3 blocks. It's disgusting, and nobody gets pissed, right? Because it's healthy food. But I heard, I don't know if this is true or not, but like Poland or some random country did not allow Subway to call their bread anymore because legally it had too much sugar
Wasn't
in it
it
or something.
Ireland?
Could have been Ireland. Was that true, or is that false
I
news?
don't
No,
live in
that's a
Ireland.
real thing. That was a real thing. I don't know
Oh.
the country, but yeah, Subway wasn't allowed to call their bread anymore. And they weren't allowed, I think even in America for a while, they weren't allowed to call their chicken because it was only like 45% chicken. And it was like 55% soybeans and stuff.
Well, yeah. If you ever got like grilled chicken back in the day from Subway, it was disgusting. It looked like baby calf meat, like human calf meat. But do you guys think
That
there
sounds
would be
delicious.
an uproar if there was as many McDonald's as there are Subways on the corners?
But I don't know this is true, but the reason I read for why there are so many more Subways and McDonald's and stuff is because it's very easy to just set it up like connected to a gas station or like inside a Walmart or something. Because you don't need like fryers, you don't need all this other stuff that McDonald's and stuff does.
Interesting. Okay.
One thing I hate about Subway is exactly how they always market as like how healthy they are, and they're like you can get a Black Forest ham sub with cucumbers, lettuce, tomato, vinaigrette just for 400 calories. And it's like That's if you get one particular sandwich of the 6-inch kind, but their clientele get the one that's like 1,000 calories with extra ranch on it, 12 inches with a bag of chips and soda, and it's only healthy food if you buy the one specifically that's healthy. But nobody ever goes in to get that.
Now, I know this is probably boring, but in the UK, there are 1,300 McDonald's, but there are 2,400 Subways. So there are more. It's probably because I'm not from the city. But worldwide, there are 39,000 McDonald's, and there are 43,000 Subways. So
That's insane.
It's closer than I thought it was.
insanity.
it is disproportionate here in the UK in terms of more Subways, but I think it's just because I'm not from the city, and I think it is probably more of a city thing because I don't know how to explain it, but it's an easy food to get on like a lunch break. You know, you can sort of take
It's
it
just
anywhere.
a Norfolk thing. I can't explain it.
Go ahead.
That was the whole thing.
Yeah, it's easy to get away with, and I think it comes back to like if it was really unhealthy or perceived to be really unhealthy, they wouldn't be as popular. But like when people eat at Subway, when I see one and I'm needing to grab lunch on the road or at work or something, I don't get excited to see a Subway. I'm not like, ooh, yay, I get to have Subway. I'm like, oh, that's like available, somewhat healthy, and somewhat cheap. So I'll get it. It's just one of those things. And I think that's what they have thrived off of. Like nobody's ever like, oh, where do you want to eat tonight, Dan? And I'm like, oh, let's go to Subway. Like, no, never in my life. And I mean, to come back to the main question of where would I bring these food reviewers?
Yeah, I mean that's probably a better
I don't
question,
know
right? If you had to take a couple of food reviewers somewhere, where would you take them?
If
I would take-
aliens landed on the Earth,
Just for those who don't know, these food reviewers
No,
are.
we
it's
don't need
like
to go
the-
into that. Just two food.
No,
reviewers.
I'm not. No, but I would take them to I would get them actual food from a fine dining restaurant and try to have them explain what it is they're eating. That's what I would do. That's my answer.
Yeah, you know what we should do? We don't have it set up, so we probably can't do it now. But maybe as like a separate video, we should do a fast food tier list.
those
Yeah.
are very popular.
People love tier lists.
There's people with like 500 subs on YouTube that like their average video gets like 30 views,
That's
and they
us.
post fast food tier list, gets like 2 million views, and then there's like, even though there's only 2 million views, there's 5 million comments, and they're always like Taco Bell and
Yep.
A, fuck you.
Yep.
Yeah.
The only reason I suggested those because I actually quite like Subway and I actually quite like KFC, and I know that's the opposite opinion in America. So
But you don't like
fight.
food, so that makes sense because you don't like food, right? You just eat out of necessity. What do you get from Subway? Just wondering, like a pepperoni sandwich or
I
something?
make my own every time.
Wait, like you don't even let the workers touch it? You like, let me make my own.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, move. Let me come back there.
What? It's a thing.
No, I'm saying
What?
you make it yourself. Like,
Yeah, you just say, I want this, that, and that, and then that, and then
No,
you
no,
do
no.
it.
Okay, just move on. Just he missed the joke. Just move on.
you missed. Yeah,
Oh.
moving on. All right. So what do you typically get?
I don't know, chicken, ham, with lettuce, cucumber, something like that.
Oh my god.
Cheese.
I literally just threw up in
melted.
my mouth a little bit thinking about a chicken ham cucumber sandwich.
Bro, it's good. But the point is, right? Subway, because that is what I'd get for like lunch. But Subway is something I prefer to do if I'm in a city and I need breakfast, because it's very reliable and it's a good
Yeah.
breakfast food.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm not harping on you too much, but it literally sounds like somebody who's never eaten food was forced to make a sandwich at Subway.
what you've
and
just
they were
done
like, just
to
give
me
me
is-
just give me the chicken and the ham and the cucumber and the mayonnaise and the
Because
oil and the
What you've just done to me is put me on the spot when I'm not in a Subway. I've just had
I
to
got
make
you.
it up.
You got nervous. Okay, what do you get from KFC? Do they have filet mignon there or
Well,
something?
Yeah, you do it
that we
too.
don't have?
If I had a KFC menu, I would tell you. I'd know exactly where to go and tell you, but I don't know. I don't get fast food often.
Watch this.
Fuck
Pound.
off.
What do you get from Burger King?
That is my least favorite fast food. food.
Fuck,
What
man,
the
I'm
hell?
stricken out. What do you
What
get
you
from
tell-
McDonald's?
Why didn't you ask me KFC? I had that answer.
Oh, what? I can't remember last night. KFC. What'd you get from KFC, Pound?
Okay, so KFC is very weird to me because I am once a year I get very in the mood for it. I'm probably gonna go right after this podcast now it's in my mind, but I get in the mood for it once a year, and every time I eat it, I feel like I'm gonna throw up and go into a coma afterwards. I don't know why I keep going, but the thing I love to get there, because it's such a stupid food. I don't know how this is allowed to be on a menu. It's called the KFC Famous Bowl. where they get like mashed potatoes in a bowl,
This
then they
is
put on
disgusting.
corn,
yeah.
popcorn chicken, shredded cheese, and gravy. And you're just supposed to like eat it with a spork, and it's like, what? That's something I would make.
It's not too bad because that bowl, looking at the nutrition facts, only has 6.6 thousand calories. So it's really not that unhealthy. No, I'm kidding. That is so, like, they say to imagine food as thick as it is, like, outside. That's how thick it is going through your blood.
Yo, Pound, was it on your stream where you mentioned the gravy burger from KFC, or was it somewhere else?
The gravy burger.
Oh no.
KFC did a thing, Bailey, where they got rid of the bun, right? They were doing a chicken sandwich, and they got rid of the bun and replaced it with 2 pieces of fried chicken.
No.
I've gotten
this
it.
is worse. It's a UK thing. I just googled it.
There's also the thing they did last year. It was
Fuck you, Bailey.
Yeah, I know, right?
they get a fried chicken breast like you would get in a normal chicken sandwich, but the bun was 2 Krispy Kreme donuts and bacon.
Wow, that screams America. Do they do that shit across the pond, Bailey?
No,
just make things
but
as
you
fat
want to know
as
what they
possible?
do,
No,
do
they don't.
DC?
What?
You want to know what they do?
What? Yeah.
He said
You said
doo-doo!
doo-doo.
I know. I did it twice. Here they have a gravy burger. It's fucking awful, right? It is the bun, of course.
They replaced the bun with gravy.
No. One chicken, right? A slice of cheese, a hash brown on top of that, which has been cut in the
Sounds
middle,
delicious.
where they put gravy, and then they put the bun back on top.
That sounds
Wait,
incredible.
so it's bun, hash brown with gravy, cheese, and chicken?
Yes.
That sounds incredible.
I like how you didn't say like 1 chicken breast, 1 chicken patty. You said it's 1 chicken. Like the whole thing is on it.
See, I don't care for like gravy and chicken. Like I'd rather
No,
have
me neither. I don't get it.
like Thanksgiving dinner, like gravy, mashed potatoes. Like I can pass on all of that. But this made me think when you said gravy inside of the hash brown, there's something called a Juicy Lucy where they take a slice of American cheese and build the burger meat around it so that when you cook the burger and then bite into it, the cheese melts out.
I'm googling.
Google Juicy Lucy.
Yeah.
And next time you're like forced to make a meal and you want to seem like somewhat impressive, just do that. It's really easy and it seems cool. People be like, "Oh my god, it's oozing out."
The one on the official Wikipedia page looks fucking disgusting.
Oh god.
This podcast brought to you by Wikipedia. Did you know that if just 2% of users donated $3, they'd never have to ask for money again?
No.
I have to pee. I'm so sorry. I'll be right back. I'm drinking this Bang Energy.
Bang bang!
And it's a
It's like
birthday cake
DC's
flavor.
got different energy today.
It's this Bang Energy. It's birthday cake flavored. And after I took a sip and realized it was disgusting, I was like, why would you ever want to drink birthday cake? Like this is on me for purchasing this, like that just doesn't sound good.
DC, you're the victim here. Don't victim blame yourself.
Would you ever buy an energy drink called Birthday Cake Bash?
100%.
Yes.
I'm the type to see a weird flavor and go, yup, that's the one I want. And if it's shit, then I'm the victim, you see?
Mm-hmm.
You're just drinking it and agreeing.
I see.
I'm the victim. Yep, that's me.
I actually had on my notes to bring up the Subway thing, so that's weird.
What Subway?
Just that there's one on every corner.
Why? Why would
All right,
that be something you bring up on the podcast?
Because it...
DC comes to the podcast like, guys, I got a really interesting note, and he just says, there's a Subway on every corner, and that's it.
You never know. All right, here's something else I have on my list, okay? I need to ask you guys a situational question, and I open it up to our audience.
Fuck the audience!
My buddy has been with his girlfriend for like...
Oh, we're doing Valentine's Day early.
Like 4 years, right? And I was hanging out with him a couple months ago, and we were talking about it, that his girlfriend hooked up with another girl, his college roommate's girlfriend. So they were all hanging out one night, they got drunk, everybody got drunk, and the guys passed out, and the 2 girls ended up hooking up, like pretty heavily. And so he was telling me this, and I was like in shock, because I was like, she cheated on you. He's like, no, it's okay, because like it was a girl. And so I
Oh.
guess I posed the question to you guys. Like, you have a serious girlfriend of
I think I would be
5
cool with
years,
that.
right? And then and then like a few months later, your girlfriend's like, "Oh yeah, I got drunk and fucked her."
No.
Like, would
just,
you be?
You just
I
bin
would
her.
be. I don't know how I would respond, but I do know I would. That would be way, way better than having sex with a guy.
Yeah, but you still bin her.
You still
Why-
what?
What? Who the fuck says you bin her?
Me.
What is bin? What is bin?
You throw her out, dude.
Yeah.
You throw her in the bin.
You just bin her.
God damn it! I've never heard
You
that.
just pick her up and straight to the trash.
Yeah, and I was so shocked at like how okay with it he was.
But he's probably
And,
just justifying it to himself.
And then his roommate doesn't know
This
that
is-
they
Hold
hooked
on,
up.
hold on, DC. There's literally any time someone does something that Bailey doesn't agree with, he's just like, yeah, he's justifying
The
it
last
to himself
two.
because he can't live with it.
I mean, it's true. Like, he probably just is.
Yeah, PTSD,
Like-
your trauma,
The-
your
The
trauma.
breakup is like deep trauma, and to naturally stop yourself going through that, you'll try and justify it. That is a thing.
I could be like, yeah, I really enjoyed my KFC yesterday, and Bailey's
Yeah,
like, you're
you're
just
just
justifying
justifying
it because you can't accept reality.
Because you spent money on it, you're just justifying it to yourself.
But yeah, I just thought that was a very interesting situation.
No, I agree with what Poughton said. It's better than if she did it with a guy, just because that's ingrained into us anyway. But the tendency to do it with a girl means that she's probably more likely to do it with a guy anyway. So why would you ever excuse that? And also, it's just cheating. Like, saying being in a monogamous relationship is just you two. It doesn't matter. There's no other third person, irrespective
Correct.
of their gender.
Correct. I would agree. I would agree.
Like, there's no
think-
clause in a relationship which is like, yeah, you can cheat on me if it's with a girl. You know, it's just no, you can't.
Maybe not in your relationship.
Yeah, well, you're a cuck.
Maybe in your relationship.
Okay, so this is why I think this is why it's better in my mind. Let's say I opened up like a McDonald's or something, right? And my friend always comes to McDonald's for lunch, right? And then one day they go to a steakhouse. I wouldn't be that upset because we don't offer anything like that, so I can see why they'd want to change it up. But if instead they went to like Burger King, which sells like the same stuff, then I would be upset because I would be like, well, what's wrong with, I have the same thing. Why don't you want
That's
this?
such a shit
So-
analogy.
How is that a shit analogy? That's a great analogy.
No, you should have said if you went to another McDonald's across town.
It's not a good analogy because the bottom line is they wanted something different.
Yeah, and also the bottom line is, like, they're allowed to go to a different restaurant. You're not in a relationship with that person. You haven't
Let's
signed
clarify.
a contract, which has been like,
I'm
you can't
not
go to
saying
you can't go to a
It's
restaurant.
acceptable. I'm saying the reason if you
I
came
gotcha.
to me and you said my partner is gonna cheat on me, would you rather them cheat with a girl or a guy? I'd
I
say a
gotcha.
girl. Yeah.
But then she tastes the filet mignon and she's like, why would I ever eat burger again?
Well, then that's just you're allowed to do that, you know. That's
And then you would lose another girl to lesbian
But
right.
you
sisterhood. Yeah.
But you should break up with the person before you cheat, not try it out and then be like, break up with them now.
Yeah, but if if I had a girl who was secretly a lesbian, I would rather they find that out than just like, no, I'd rather you just be stuck.
My
with me.
my friend dated a girl who ended up being a lesbian for a couple years, and that's got to be like a blow to the ego or some sort of that would hurt me or hit me a little differently, right? If you date a girl for 2 years and then she comes out like pretty soon after that she's not into men, she's into women. The first thing I would say, think is like, oh, that explains a lot, like depending on what the details were of the relationship. But then also it'd be like, wow, was she like, was I her last chance at men? Was it like I turned her gay? Was I like, that would just fuck? Wouldn't that fuck with you or no?
No, I think it would be the opposite. Again, going back to the breakup trauma, I think if somebody left me and then came up with a lesbian, I'd be like, oh, okay, so it wasn't me being awful, it's just that they were naturally into women.
And then they
not
said,
me.
no, it was you. It was entirely you.
Yeah, well, that's entirely different.
Imagine the fucking. Oh my god! If somebody breaks up with you, they come back a few months later and they're like, "I just want to let you know, like, I turned gay because of you. Like,
Yo,
it was disgusting and gross, and I never want that again."
They're like, I hate hooking up with women, but it's still better than
Better
going
than
through.
with you.
Now you're just being assholes to yourself.
Yeah.
There's a guy you said that like you wouldn't want an ex-girlfriend to like come out because you would feel bad if they came out as lesbian. But there's a guy who actively brags about it. I think his name is Big Dick Nick or something. Like he's a sort of infamous online celebrity, and he has a video where it's like an Instagram video. He's bragging. He's like, every single ex-girlfriend I've ever had has either turned into a lesbian or committed suicide because they could never find a guy that matched with me. I'm like, if everyone you've ever dated either only dates women for the rest of their life or kills themselves, you have an issue.
Yeah.
But he thought it was a compliment.
I like
Good.
I like how our
Good.
Twitch title is still episode 4.
You should put in the Twitch title our names so people know who the BDP podcast is.
Why? You're not
I
getting
don't know,
clout
just
from it.
for clout. For clout.
Nobody
Hell
else
yeah,
is
bro.
watching this except the normal people.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. We're supposed to do like an intro where we actually introduced our names because if somebody shows up
No.
brand new,
Not this.
Some-
This.
Yeah, I'll definitely do it. I
Yeah,
think it's
I
very
remember
important.
Bailey
When I
is
this
so
makes it
bizarre
crazy.
with the things he hates. I just said like, hey, at the beginning of the podcast, be like, hey guys, I'm London Pound, so that new viewers know who we are. And Bailey's
Right.
like, oh, that's so shit.
It
I would
makes
never
me
say my
cringe.
name.
it's so cringe.
It's cringe.
Ew, I'll die from the
I
cringiness.
will.
And I was like, so the day after we uploaded that Aglet YouTube video, there was like a popular tweet about aglets, and I was like, oh, Bailey, you should post the video. And he's like, oh, that's so cringe.
It
Oh
is.
no.
Pound, I would let you run the Twitter account, but you got banned for racism, so.
It was not racism, it was threatening to kill somebody.
Yeah, but he was black, so it's racist.
He wasn't black. So, do you want to hear the stupidest? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get shit on again. I'm gonna tell you guys one of the stupidest punishments I ever got when I was only in first grade. I was 6 years old, right?
You did it again.
Right? There's the pause. There's the lol no pound pause right there. Lol no pause.
He changed the entire sentence structure to not do it, and then he did it again.
I know.
I wasn't waiting for you guys. I was gathering my thoughts.
No
Maybe
one's
you
gonna
heard
find it funny, but we find it funny. Oh,
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you're right, Pound. In first grade, you're 6.
I'm 6 years old, very young kid, and you know, I've always been a funny guy. I enjoy comedy. And one of the first jokes someone ever tells me, another 6-year-old comes up and he says, hey, spell I-cup. And I go, I-C-U-P. And he starts laughing, and I'm like, I don't get it. Why are you laughing? And he goes, because you said you see me pee. And I was like, oh my God, that's so funny. Because you asked me to spell a word, and I thought it was just a normal spelling contest. But instead, I implied that I was in the restroom and I saw you peeing. I was like, that's great humor. So I thought I would go up. I was like, I want to share this joke. So I go up to my teacher and I go, hey, spell I cup. And she doesn't say anything for like a few seconds. And she's like, come with me. And she writes a note. I have to take this note home to my parents and have them sign it that I asked the teacher to spell I cup. I'm like, looking back, that is like the least weird thing ever.
And he was sent to 6 weeks of sexual therapy. Pound, this is the difference between you and the other kids, right? The kid said, I spell I cup to me, and you spelled it to him. Your initial thought was, no, don't play the prank on another kid. Go get a fucking
I told
adult,
other
the
kids
teacher,
too.
and
I wanted to share it with the teacher.
You wanted to what?
I shared it with other kids too, but I also wanted to share it with the teacher because I thought it was funny. Literally, the only crime I did was I was a growing child trying to explore comedy, and they fucking shut me down.
No,
because
you
it's
asked,
not like it's
you ba-
illegal
that's like if
to
I went
tell
up to the
somebody.
That's like if I went up to the teacher and I said, "Say penis," because like it would be funny. She'd be like, "Okay, yeah, you're going to the principal's office."
It's
like
not
that's what you did.
illegal to say you saw somebody pee.
Watch, she was like, "You're probably recording me. This kid wants me to say I see you pee. He's gonna record me, and then I'm gonna get fired for pedophile." Philia.
Look,
You've also ruined that word. You've also ruined that word for me, Bailey. I can't say
Why?
pedo without hearing your voice.
But
Pedophile.
you
Like, I
should-
can remember last time I heard just pedophile. It's, oh, it's a pedo. It's a pedo.
It
It's
is
a pedo.
It's a pediatrician. It's not a pediatrician.
look, the fucking education system is all about fitting you into a square hole. And if you don't fit, they fuck you. You're not allowed to say you see somebody pee. They'll shit all over you. They'll throw you down. They don't care about you.
Is this why your stand-up career failed now?
Yes.
He's been scarred once.
I heard this on a movie the other day. I thought that was pretty funny. It's not that funny, but he says, life will bite you in the ass. It really will. My ass is hamburger meat, but I can still sit down to take a shit.
DC, if you...
What?
I'm moving on. DC, if you...
I know.
Have you,
It's just I had to know.
have you seen Pound stand-up?
No, I have not.
Oh, you need to. It's just because it's Pound. It's funny.
Is it? Do they laugh at him?
Yeah, but only because he's a fucking idiot. No other reason.
Pound's humor took a while for me to pick up on, so I imagine the
My stand-up
audience
is...
would...
Maybe y'all disagree. I don't think my stand-up is at all like my stream
No,
comedy.
it isn't. It isn't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I'd be interested in it.
I haven't seen it in years, but I just remember it being so much different. I was like, this is so surreal.
Yeah. It's actually... Oh, I actually structure stuff.
Your problem online is that you structure stuff too much. That's not what online
Right.
humor is. Online humor is quick, you know? You tell a fucking 10-minute joke, and I'm just like, bro, shut up.
Is that what his stand-up is, or is that internet Pound?
He structured stuff too much on the internet. The stand-up was fine.
Oh, okay.
Like, I would never mock him for it. It's just funny that he did it. Like, it's a structure of a joke that, yeah, whatever.
One of the most bizarre things a teacher ever said to me was, remember when I got Saturday school for being a right-wing terrorist?
Yeah.
No
So
context.
I'm at Saturday school, and there's like 5 of us, right? We're all in a room with the teacher kind of watching us, and
How often were you in Saturday school?
oh, it was only one time.
Okay.
But that does remind me of the first time I ever got detention. But before we get to that, it's 5 of us sitting there in Saturday school. And have you ever seen the movie The Breakfast Club?
Yes.
Nope.
Okay, so I haven't seen it either. So DC, explain like the plot that it's kids that are in detention. Is that what it is?
Yeah, kids who have to come into detention on Saturday, and it's like 5 or 6 kids. One's a jock, one's the popular girl, one's a weirdo goth emo chick, one's a athlete,
And they all get super
and one's a nerd, and one's like a bad boy, and they all just like clash heads because they're so different, but then ultimately they come together. Aw.
Yeah, so what the teacher tells us as we're all sitting in his classroom on Saturday, he goes, "You know, it's funny. When I was growing up, I watched this movie called The Breakfast Club, and now I'm a teacher, and y'all are in detention. It's funny how life works out like that." I was like, that's not funny at all.
What me? Okay.
It's funny how funny he thought it was that he watched a movie and then something slightly similar happened. I guess it would be like watching a movie about a police officer, and then you see a police car, and you're like, oh, it's crazy how life works.
All right, so I have this story
Is it about
that
Subway?
happened to me. It's wow. You hear that?
Yeah, don't
It's
do that.
slight. No, I was thinking. I didn't mean to. Pounds in a. Okay. It was. It's slightly more interesting than the Subway story. So I was on a walk. As you guys know, I'm a big walker these days. I walked. They call me Walker Texas Ranger.
No, they
Nobody will
don't.
get that joke.
It's such a
Nobody will
pound
get
joke.
No, I got 40,000 steps in the last 2 days, but that's not important. I was on a walk at night in my neighborhood, and this girl walks in front of me, right? We're coming to a T intersection on the sidewalk. And so I let her pass because COVID, social distancing, whatever. And she's in like dressy, nice boots, jeans, whatever, coat. And she starts walking, and I'm behind her. And there's always like that moment of you want to put some space between you because you don't just walk like right behind somebody when you're outside. So I let some space pass. And then I'm walking, and I notice that she's like pulling far ahead, like farther than I ever thought she would, because I'm a fast walker,
What kind
right?
of
Like
thought process is this?
Yeah, they
Well, no.
actually I know who you're talking about. That girl's known as the Walker Texas Ranger because she walks so much.
She was actually just sprinting away from DC.
I just noted because I walk very fast. Like my mom, single mom growing up, had to get shit done. When we were walking through the mall or grocery store, it was fucking keep up or be left behind. So like her walk was like my sprint as a kid. So I've just always been a fast walker.
She was actually tired of taking care of you. She kept trying to.
She
leave
was
you.
also running away.
I'm like, Mom, come back. And she starts pulling ahead, and I could not believe at how much distance she put between me, right? So I started to pay like really close attention to this, and it's amazing that we're also like on the same path because like the loop that I do is not really that popular, and so I start to match her stride rhythm, right? So she takes a step, I take a step.
Yep, she thought you were gonna kill her.
And she was like slightly, yeah. No, I don't think she saw me because I had put like I said, she was pulling away from me. And so I walked at her cadence and her stride was very similar to mine. And yet this girl was miles ahead of me. It fucked with me so hard. I thought she was an alien who was just floating and not like actually walking because by the time I stopped paying attention, she had to be a quarter mile ahead of me.
Pause for 1 second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did we just spend like 3 minutes for you to say there was a girl? I was so surprised how fast you walked.
This is how we feel at your shit
Pound.
jokes, Pound.
Pound. This is not the situation that I'm describing. We were walking the same fucking speed, right? My legs were in rhythm with her. She was not taking more steps than me. My stride, we were the same height, very similar, and yet she gained a quarter mile on me. How do you explain that?
You're implying that she has control over space?
That's what it has to be. It has to be. Those escalators that in the airport that don't take you upstairs, they take you like.
There's two explanations here.
They're called
either she was walking faster than you thought, or she controls space.
The latter. I think it's the latter. If I had to I wanted to run and catch up to her and be like, what are you doing? Are you like what's happening? Where's the illusion? Am I being pranked right now? I could not imagine you think you're walking the same speed as somebody, yet they're pulling infinitely farther ahead of you.
It wasn't infinite.
It would have, if it were a graph. What is it called in a graph whenever something approaches an axis but never actually crosses?
Limit?
Any mathematicians out there?
A limit.
What is it called? A limit?
Yeah.
You're cutting out. I don't know if Bailey, do you experience that?
It's only when somebody else talks the Discord thing, but I blanked out. What were you saying?
No, it's okay. I was just
Chad is saying an
yeah, it is a limit. Limit approaches, but never. Whatever.
What's a limit?
And it doesn't matter. Anyway, that was just something I needed to talk about because I didn't tell anybody. I just wrote it down. I wrote it down in the podcast notes, and I was like, "Yeah, this fucked with my head," and I still have no idea what happened because I was like, I was chasing this girl, and that's the thing. She didn't look like she was exerting exorbitant amount of energy. Like she looked very comfortable, and yet she was just sprinting away from me. Might as well have been.
What would you do if she turned a corner and then like a few seconds later you turn the corner, she's gone, and you turn around and she passes you again?
She's laughing.
Yeah. She just lapped the world.
Why?
She's a program from the Matrix. Is the only thing I can surmise.
Down? Why is this
because it blew my mind. It literally blew my mind. We can cut it, but I thought it was worth bringing up. I had to get it off my chest.
Put yourself in DC's shoes. Picture you're walking and somebody else is walking, and then they get farther away.
But you're actually putting in effort to keep up with them, nay, to walk faster than them, and you fail. And you pride yourself on being, because I'm a really good speed walker. So if you guys don't
apparently
know,
not.
They have like Olympic speed walking, and I am great at it. There's actually a unit in my gym class. I think it is.
That's not in the Olympics.
What gym class are you in?
Speed walking.
It was a thing, and we had to do it, and we had to walk. You couldn't run, like both feet couldn't be off the ground at the same time. And so like I was booking it, and this girl was just comfortably just pulling ahead. Like, we can move on. I'm beating a dead horse, but it blew my mind.
DC goes to relive his glory days. DC goes to like elementary schools with like 8-year-olds, and he sees them like walking around. He's like, yeah, that's pretty impressive. Watch this.
I know. I would actually like to show you guys sometime how fast I can walk.
Yeah, let's all get together tomorrow and show us.
Oh, I'm saying if we ever see each other, just ask me to speed walk or race me, and I'll fucking book it. I'll crush you. I bet you I can walk faster than Pound can sprint.
I'm like DC. There's no way you can walk that fast. And he's like, oh yeah, really? And you hear like his door open, and there's like a knock at my door. I'm like, wait, what the fuck?
But yeah, so that was my notepad. I had the
Well, this
girlfriend
is why
hooking
you're
up with a
banned
girl,
from taking
girl
notes.
walking faster than me, subways on every corner, and then the last one was what makes
He was
somebody
like,
love
DC's
a
like, it
teen.
was so weird. I was matching her strides, and yet I was at the 3rd subway, and she was at the 5th subway.
I actually reckon DC would be the fastest out of us three.
At walking, yeah, for sure.
No, just
I used to be a
sprinting,
sprinter.
too.
I used to be very fast.
I reckon Pound's the
Did-
slowest. I'd put myself middle.
What are we basing
probably
this
a
off
safe
of?
bet.
Like, our
Probably a
voices?
safe
Just each other. I don't fucking know.
Just pure athleticism vibes given off by everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, my
well,
first detention ever.
for fuck's sake.
This was not even in an official class. We were in, I guess, study hall, kind of, where it's just like a little break to work on homework and stuff after recess for like 30 minutes. We're in there, and I fart. And it's really
Dude,
loud,
I'm sorry.
and it smells really bad. And my friend who's sitting next to me, he starts laughing because of how badly it smells. And the teacher gives us both detention for that. And we're forced to come in after school, and we have to write an apology letter to her. We have to write a 1-page paper apologizing to her. And then after we write the apology letter to her, we both get detention because they said our apology letter wasn't apologetic enough. Because my friend wrote, like, I'm sorry that I laughed at his fart, but it smelled really bad. And she was like, this apology sucks. You get detention again. So we had to go back to detention a second time and write new apology letters. And then finally she was like, okay, you're apologetic enough. You can go about your day. And yes, I'm reading chat this entire time. It's not
Pound,
that funny.
I that's pretty funny. For those who don't know, we stream on Twitch every once in a while. We'll stream the podcast live. So go over to twitch.tv BPD until we change it podcast and give us a follow. Pound, a lot of the stories you talk about are you in like mandated behavioral restructural programs. Is it safe to say you were a bad kid? Like
No, these are
I don't think
very
you're,
rare. That's why
I don't think you were
me.
a bad kid. I just think you were just the kid who was always in the wrong place at the wrong time, and asking the teacher to say spell I see you Pete is very telling that you were just like you didn't give a fuck.
I am a very, very strict, like, nobody followed the rules more strictly than I do. I just always got in trouble because I'm terrible at understanding social situations. Like,
Yeah.
there was a rule that
I
you
didn't
were
want to say
not
that, but
allowed
that's
to
what I
choose
meant.
gum. You were not allowed to chew gum. And I was, like, 16 years old when I found out that people chewed gum anyway. And it was shocking to me. I couldn't believe that people would chew gum even though there was a rule against it. And it blew my mind. I couldn't comprehend it. And I also found out, around when I was 15 or 16, I found out you're given these books to read over the summer.
And nobody
And-
reads them.
I found out that nobody read them. I was like 16 when I found that out. And it blew my mind. I was like, I've been reading them.
I
'cause they
didn't
said
even
to
go
read
to
it.
your school, but I knew what happened anyway. And you were like, what?
I'm
You
a
weren't
very
tested on them or
strict-
had to write papers about them?
Yeah, but kids would just like read the summaries of it. And that it didn't even occur to me that you could not do that.
That is insane.
And so I'm a very strict rule follower, and yet I always get in trouble for stupid stuff like farting or something else.
Pound, did you not have friends that like said, "Hey, you don't have to read
Yeah,
those"?
but they
man?
were all rule followers too, so.
Yeah.
No, they didn't follow the rules either. I just didn't pick up on it. I didn't look for it. I was like, oh yeah, I guess they did chew.
They're like, "Hey, Pound, do you want to come play outside of this?" Pound's like, "No, we have to read these 67 books that the school
There you
gave us."
go.
I was. Did I tell you guys about the gum doctor? I used to be the gum doctor in high school.
That sounds
What?
horrific.
I was. Yeah, people.
Like
I don't
a
know who came up with it.
dentist?
They called me the gum doctor. I was extremely obsessed with chewing gum in high school. And the reason I did it is because one of my pet peeves, one of the things I just can't deal with is bad breath. All right? If you come up and talk to me and you have stank breath, no. So I would pull out a piece of gum, put a piece in my mouth, and then offer one to them real casually. But it got out of hand because I had to have a pack of every single type of gum almost at the grocery store and keep it in my backpack.
Why every single
So-
type? Why not just a few packs?
Because he's obsessed.
Because I was obsessed. It was
What did you?
It was,
somebody walks up to you and you like go through all your flavors, like
yes,
you're this
literally like
flavor.
I was like a drug dealer. Like, what do you need? But for gum, I
He
was
was
like
the gum doctor.
I was the gum doctor.
Why
Yes.
doctor?
I don't know. I didn't come up with it.
Why not like the gum guru? You know,
That's pretty cool. A little alliteration.
Right.
The highest
and I
form
came
of
up with
language.
that in 5 seconds. Like
Pound.
doctor shit.
Yeah, except you always shit on me for it. I'm like,
I
Bailey-
don't. I love the alliteration.
I'm like, Bailey, have you noticed in some of our titles, I make alliteration with it? He's like, yeah, Pound, you figured out the lowest form of English language. It's like, it's the highest form, you dumb motherfucker.
Maybe in America.
Oh, so this whole talking over Discord thing is not going to be an issue because we're using Audacity.
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. Because Discord really fucks
We're only
it up.
4 hours into using Audacity, and DC figures it out.
Oh, fuck. I didn't record.
Fuck off, he did. It didn't even work. The little laugh.
Yeah, but I was the gum doctor, and even till this day, you won't catch me without a pack of gum on my persons or in my backpack, whatever.
Thank you for this.
I recently found out that what's our favorite thing on the planet here on the BDP podcast? Moldova, right?
That's
Favorite planet?
yes,
favorite
Moldova,
thing.
my favorite planet.
That's what I heard. What did you say?
I said our favorite thing on the planet.
I had no idea
Oh.
where you were going with that because you said thing. If you'd have said country, I'd have got it. But
I didn't think I had to be so specific with
well,
something
I
as
was thinking
incredible
what
as
Sodium
Moldova.
just said in chat, but don't read it aloud.
Wait, so you're thinking that like it's all in the front of our brains that when we think of our favorite thing on earth,
When I
that
just
we
say
think of
BDP
Moldova?
podcast, that should be the first thing that comes to your mind.
okay, go ahead.
I recently found out, despite the fact that I knew Moldova was previously part of Russia, I somehow did not occur to me. I just found out that Moldovans were white. And the only reason I thought they were black is because the only Moldovan I know, Adrian,
He's white.
on his
Good.
Discord, his profile picture is ASAP Rocky, who is an
no.
American rapper and has nothing to do with Moldova. And my brain still put together, oh, all Moldovans must be black, because the only one I know has a black guy as his profile
Yeah, cut
picture.
this out. This doesn't make it. Surely this
Yeah, for
doesn't
sure.
go in.
Maybe it would have made it if you didn't suck at responding to
What
that.
do you want me to say, Pound?
Say, oh, that's really stupid, Pound.
Right, and then it gets cut anyway.
Well, y'all ruined this segment.
I just
Profile. That's the psychological.
yeah.
Impact
well done,
of the
well
profile
done,
picture.
DC. Good.
I've learned to
transition.
not even look at Discord profile pictures because I'll get if their picture is a hot girl. Like a lot of these kids on Clash Royale like to make anime girls their profile picture on Twitter and Discord. And it's like, I think it should be a rule that you have to make yourself your profile picture.
Yeah, I used to think that I was attracted to a humanized Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Is that it?
Why? Why?
Why? Why?
Why? Why? Because of a profile picture?
Yeah, that was Amy's profile picture.
Nobody gets that, Pound.
I didn't even get it, and I know Amy's
Yeah,
profile
no,
picture.
I don't even. Okay, so do we have any other segments that we wanted to do? Bailey, do you have a story for us in our truth or false
Are we wrapping
segment? No, just to, I mean, it's.
What's the end? So I don't do it yet. SMH. We end
Oh,
on.
you can cut it to wherever.
No, my OCD. I don't have OCD. We can do it.
Yeah, I
whenever.
prefer to not do that.
Huh?
Yeah, I prefer to like actually wrap up on it.
Okay, then
Oh.
if you two have anything else, we can move on.
No, I was just asking.
Yeah, of course I do. I'm not gonna bail out my own game.
Did you guys have anything else you wanted to talk about specifically?
I never do. I just turn up every Saturday and say.
Oh yeah, we know.
good.
We can tell. We can. Pound. What about you?
Yeah, did you know that Coke used to like the drink
Yes, I
Coke?
knew that.
It used to be marketed
Yeah.
as a
Had
weight
cocaine.
loss. No,
Oh.
it was
Oh.
marketed as a weight loss supplement. So, like, there's actual commercials from the 50s where it shows this lady, and she's like, "Oh boy, I sure am hungry," and then she opens up a Coke, and she drinks it, and she goes, Coke is so refreshing. It stops me from eating some food that might seriously pack on the pounds." It's so bizarre to me what people used to think. Like, in what planet have you ever been hungry, drank a Coke, and thought, oh, yeah, I don't need to eat again for the rest of the day?
Well, I will say that an energy drink will have that effect on me.
What kind of energy
yeah.
drink do you see?
If I drink a big ass Red Bull,
No. Our sponsor.
I'm like,
Come
I'm
on.
like, oh, I won't be as hungry. What'd you say?
What?
Oh yeah, bang, bang, bang. Brought to you by Birthday Cake Bash, Bang Energy. Put a bang in your step.
Okay. It's birthday cake flavor, but what does it actually taste like?
All right, it actually tastes like, dude, it tastes like, all right, here's what it tastes like. If you put a funfetti, you know what a funfetti cake is, cupcake?
I know what it is.
God, you're so fucking British. It's a vanilla with sprinkles. You know what like birthday cake tastes like, the flavor tastes like?
It depends on the
Have you ever gotten
birthday
like a birthday cake flavored ice cream
No.
or all right, what? Just imagine you take a vanilla cupcake. I'll just say vanilla.
Vanilla?
Yes. What would you call it?
Vanilla?
That's what I said.
You said vanilla.
You're saying the same exact thing in my ears.
It's like when Pound says tin instead of 10.
Vanilla? Is that better? Vanilla?
Yes, that's better.
It's vanilla.
No.
Vanilla. Under my vanilla, Ella.
It's a different
But it
word.
tastes like if you took a vanilla cupcake and just squashed it in your hand as hard as you could, and then sprinkled the crumbs into a Coca-Cola, and then you stirred it and let it fester for 3 weeks in a healthy germ-infested, good bacteria environment, and then cracked it open in a can. That's what it tastes like. A cupcake infused with a soda,
I feel like I would buy that.
and it's disgusting.
I feel like I wouldn't buy that. Okay.
Isn't that hilarious? I describe this drink, and I think it sounds gross, and Bailey says, I think I would buy it.
I think I'd buy it for the experience, you know.
That's why I bought it. I was like, let me try this.
There we go.
I'm a firm believer to a fault in you got to try everything
Me
once.
too. Life is
Like, you
about the
don't- yeah.
experiences.
Exactly.
I'm with
That's
you.
why I tried crack cocaine. That's
Me
why
too.
I hired a hooker. Yeah, you just got to try everything
You'll never
once.
know unless you try. You know.
Did you guys hear about that religion
Isn't that
based around
lyric?
porn?
Oh, no.
What?
Did you hear about the religion based around worshiping porn?
No.
They had very firm believers.
Why?
Me and DC always do this thing when you make a joke. We do
Yeah.
like a shootout. Both just stay here in silence. It's like, who's moving? I'm not.
Well, let me make sure I understood the joke correctly. Is it just because you want like firm butt cheeks?
Oh,
What?
like they're
I don't get it. I honestly don't get the joke. What is it, dude? I'm bugging out over here.
they have an erection.
What?
They have an erection. Their penis is firm from being turned on.
Wait, so it's so funny to me that or it's so funny to you guys that instead of a firm penis, I thought of a firm butt.
Because that wouldn't make sense.
Well, none of it makes sense. The joke is horrible.
Sorry, DC, when you watch porn, does your fucking ass just get hard? Like.
Okay. Whatever. We'll move on. That was such a okay. Yeah.
Could you imagine DC is like hanging out with his buddies on Omegle, and he's like, my butt sure is getting hard right now.
No, I meant. Let me. Fuck you guys. I meant like when you watch porn, you want to see somebody with a firm body instead of a fat, droopy, saggy body.
That was you figured out the joke. That was it.
Fuck you for making that stupid joke.
Okay. Speaking of butts, because I went to a private school, so we had like religious studies classes. How familiar are you guys with the Bible?
Nothing.
Somewhat. I think I tried to read. I did try to read it at some point, but I only made it like halfway through.
But I don't know how to read.
Yeah.
Do you guys know the story of Sodom?
No.
Is that the guy who wanted to?
What's a town?
Oh yeah. Okay.
it's where-
the
it's
town
where we-
that was
it's
so
where-
full of sin that God wanted to like
Yeah, he
eradicate
destroyed
the
it.
city. Yeah, destroy it.
Mhm.
Oh, is that
And
what's the word?
Sodomy.
Sodomize?
Yeah, it's where we get sodomy
Right.
and sodomize
There
from.
we go.
Yeah.
I'm smart.
So there's a town called Sodom, and everyone started being like really gay. Apparently, like they would just start. Guys were just having sex with guys, and God was like, "Well, this can't be allowed." And So he sends 2 angels down to the city to see if it was worthy of being destroyed. And God has like this one guy in Sodom that he's like close buddies with, he's been talking to. And he sends the angels to go visit the guy and talk with him. And the angels go into the house, and all of a sudden the whole town starts like beating down the doors, like trying to break in. And they're like, we want to rape those angels. Let us in. And the guy's like, you can't do that because they're guy angels. And they're like, no, they're pretty. You know, there's hot ass angels, way hotter than us filthy humans, because they didn't invent soap until like the 1800s or something. And they were like, yeah. And the guy's like, okay, what if instead you don't rape the angels? Instead, I've got 2 virgin daughters. I'll send them out and you can rape them. And they're like, no, we want the angels. And then God's like, okay, I'm destroying the city. So the guy, his family, they get up and they leave, and God destroys the city. And God says, look, whatever you do, don't look at the city while I'm destroying it. And they go, okay. And then the guy's wife turns around to look at the city, and she is instantly turned into a pillar of salt, which is a very weird punishment. But she turns into a pillar of salt. And long story short, the daughters...
How is this long story short? Go.
Long story short, the daughters want children, but there are no other guys left except for their dad. So they get him really drunk, and then they rape him and have his kids. And that's the story of Sodom.
Can we have a weekly Bible reading segment, please?
I would love that. But isn't that a... It's just such a straight... Somebody wrote that.
Yeah.
Somebody was like, okay, I need to spread the word of God. I need to get people to join our religion.
Wait, that's the whole... Is that a true account of the Bible?
Yes, that's in the Bible, yeah. So somebody was like, how can I spread the word of God and convince people my God is real? Oh, maybe if I said that he destroyed a town and they tried to rape the angels, that'll get people on my side.
Not only a town of gay people.
Yeah.
Just because they are gay people.
Yeah. Now back to gay rights.
Hold on, let me pee real quick.
This
twice. Bang is going right through me. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Alright, I'm gonna go piss too.
Yeah, let's pee real quick. What? Do we have a TikTok, by the way?
We don't.
No, we have an
should.
Instagram though.
Yeah, we should. All right.
We have an Instagram. We follow 100 different big titty pages.
It's like the YouTube account is now just full of clowns recommended videos.
Yeah. All right. So any other things you wanted to bring up or talk about? Anything crazy happened to you guys this week?
There was this time I delivered a Jimmy John's sandwich to a broken family. So I was a Jimmy John's delivery driver. I'd be, 50, freaky fast. You know the commercials.
I don't,
Yeah.
but...
So this guy orders a turkey sandwich. I'm driving to their house, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, this is going to be a normal delivery where I bring a sandwich, and it's a happy family, and everything's cool. Instead, as I'm pulling up to their house, their dad is driving away, and I see, like, tears in his eyes. Like, he's actively crying as he's driving away. I was like, that's fucking weird. And it's a nice house. They seem like they have money, and they have a giant RV parked in front of the driveway. And I go knock on the door.
Again, Pound?
Yeah, I was just going to go power through it. They have a giant RV parked outside their house. And I go up, so their dad just left crying. I knock on the door. And a kid he's about 18 years old answers. The order's for him. And he has like his 10-year-old brother by his side. And I said, hey, can you sign the receipt here for your delivery? And he says, yeah. And the little 10-year-old kid with like wonder in his voice, he's like, where'd mom go? Where's she at? And the kid, the older kid, 18 years old, he doesn't look at me. He doesn't look at his younger brother. He's just like looking down at the ground. He's like, she's in the RV right now. And then like closes the door, and I'm left to think about that for the rest of my life. I don't know, either they got into like a huge fight and she like stormed off to the RV, or maybe the wife has like a lover that comes over and they don't want the kids to know. So they head into the RV, and the dad had to like leave crying knowing that his wife is getting railed in the RV right now. And the only thing keeping the son from just blowing his brains out is this Jimmy John's sandwich. And if I didn't get there within 15 minutes or less, He might not be here anymore.
I'm so confused at the motivation behind this story because it didn't happen, right?
No, of course it happened.
Why would you doubt that?
I was just very confused as to what was happening that I missed out. 'Cause there's so many people's lives that you only get like a
You
quick
missed out
20-second view of. There's such a quick 20-second view of a family. There could have been so many reasons as to why the dad was crying, why the son was depressed about his wife being in the RV.
What if
There's so many possibilities.
What if they just won the lottery and the dad was crying tears of joy as he goes to cash in his ticket, and the wife is in the RV on the RV computer, looking up new homes, and they're now spending all of their money on fast food, and they're rich. Pound. There's
well, that's a happy interpretation.
Yeah, right. Come on, they're not broken. They're happy. I don't know where I'm going with it.
DC, what do you think was going on with that family?
That's my guess. Thank you, DC.
DC, what do you think was going on with that family?
The dad was crying. You're sure of it?
Yes.
He took photos.
He wasn't just slicing red onions.
in the car. While
Actually, now that I think about it, he was actually driving a giant onion with wheels on it.
All right, so he's crying, getting in the car. The wife is in the RV. Yeah, I'd say probably a divorce.
Yeah.
That's drastic.
All right,
Well, I felt bad for the little kid because the little kid seemed like he didn't know what was going on at all. He was just like, where's mom? Where did mom go?
Or it's a classic overthinking situation, right? Like the guy just stubbed his toe, his eyes were watering up, or they have to put their dog down, and the wife had to go get Tylenol from the RV, and then the kid was just having a bad couple of seconds and was looking down at his feet and noticed that he had a stink bug on his shoe and was like, she's in the RV. Pound walks away. He's like, oh my God. The dad has to watch the wife getting pounded in the RV and the kids know about that's just where Pound's mind took him to.
Well, that would be a cool life, wouldn't it? If you were married, but you got to fuck someone in an RV.
What?
That'd be pretty cool.
Why don't you just fuck the person you're married to in the RV?
Why are we in the RV at all? I imagine the RV sitting in the front yard.
You're gonna have sex in the same house as your kid from your previous lover?
What?
Pound's making up that there's this other man involved.
Oh.
It's time for Truth or Dare on the BDP podcast.
We need face cam.
Oh shit! I'm gonna say true or false.
Yeah, you said truth or dare. I'm like, we should do that.
I would love to do an audio only truth or dare segment. It's like, Pound, I dare you to cut your hand off. Like, all right, I'm doing it. Here I go.
And then you just scream. Yo, just as a side note, on the viewer questions, there was 3 questions, and it was just all of our names, in the different questions, with a colon, and it said moan for the boys. And whoever that is, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Who thinks of that shit?
I don't know. And they submit 3 different responses, with, aimed at each of us individually, instead of just going, why don't you all just moan? Awful. Would you like me to introduce the segment again, Pound?
And are you going, Bailey?
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's do it.
Why would you ask that? Alright. The segment, if any of you are new here, please subscribe. We Pound spent good money on an advert, and we gained 4 subs, so please subscribe. Anyway, if you haven't watched last week's podcast, we do a segment where we one of us tells a story, and it's either true or it's false, and the other 2 have to guess. This week it is my turn to go. Pound, I think you're on. I know this is sort of irrelevant, but you're on 4 points. I'm on 2. DC's on none. DC yet to score. You get a point if you trick somebody into the wrong answer, or if you guess the right answer. So, DC, you need to score. And I'm gonna start.
I scored with your mom last night.
Haha, that's my story, JK.
Oh no, that was a story. I had that on my podcast notes. Yeah, earlier this week, I said, "Hey, something about my mom," and Bailey's like, "Yeah, your mom blew my dick," and that's interesting, Bailey, because she lives 3,000 miles away in the America. So why don't you go ahead and tell us how that was possible that happened?
I got a big dick.
It stretches all the way across the ocean.
You're just fucking destroying houses as it plows through.
Yep, that's it.
just picturing when Bailey gets a boner, whole cities are destroyed.
DC's
So
like,
stupid. So stupid.
DC's like, I don't understand. I was walking just as fast as he was growing, but his dick got like a quarter mile in front of me.
I obviously didn't do a good job of illustrating how it was like I was in a time-space continuum paradox, and I was just being pranked.
Glace needs to do an animation of that last 30 seconds.
The dick destroying town.
but then you also
Like whole skyscrapers just broken in half and bridges being
but also
crumbled.
the part
I
when you're
know
like,
we're all
DC
laughing.
can't keep up. He's just chasing after my dick.
I know we're all laughing. We're saying, "Oh, that'd be so funny." Imagine how terrifying that would be if you're on a transatlantic flight going either to Europe or going to America. And you're like, "What's that?" And you point down to the ocean. There's just a cock extending across.
Yeah, but that's how I'd want to go. That's how I'd want to
see-
go, right? They'd be like, "Oh, DC's dead. What happened to him? He was struck down by a massive cock coming out of Norfolk."
Norfolk.
You just hear on the plane that you're on. You just hear two like fighter jets fly by your plane, and then like a bomber drops down and like drops a nuke onto the cock, and you see like your plane starts shaking from the fallout of the nuclear explosion. You're like, holy shit! And like finally the mushroom cloud clears, and the cock is still there. It's indestructible.
What were we talking about before you asked Bailey how he smashed your mom across the ocean?
Well, I was gonna go into my story, but no, we didn't.
Oh
get
yeah.
there.
Okay.
Are you too good?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, my story. I always like to start this as a headline because headline because I don't know how to start them otherwise. But the headline is I used my Twitch/YouTube adventure to impress a girl. Now, there is who's eating.
Pound, quit chomping over there on your pecan voodoo pie.
Why didn't you say something earlier?
What?
Why'd you wait that long to tell me?
Because
Well, you just started chewing into the microphone now.
All right, I'm going. So, I will admit, I am not the greatest with females. I always find it really difficult. So this was on an unnamed dating app. I have no idea how to introduce myself to females. So I always try and use something from the
Start
bio.
by not calling them females.
Yeah, that's what I do. I go, "You're a cool female" in every opener. No, I always go to the bio, right? And this girl had, she wrote that she watches Twitch streamers. So I open up and I'm like, hey, what kind of streamers? Or something like that. I can't remember the exact line, but it went into Twitch. And she was like, oh yeah, I'm actually watching the stream right now. Now, the name to me rung a bell. So I went onto Twitch. I put the name in. The guy's Twitter was in his Twitch panels, I think they're called. And he actually followed me on Twitter. Now, the reason he followed me on Twitter...
Oh, they're not called Twitch panels. This is a lie.
Wait, who's the guy? Who's the guy? Why did you...
Well,
I missed something.
I'm gonna... She mentioned she was watching this guy play a game.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Gotcha.
So I go onto Twitch, and I put the guy in. Go onto his Twitter, and he follows me on Twitter. Now, I was like, I knew that name rung a bell. So I scroll down on his Twitter, and he's a variety streamer, right? And he had streamed Clash Royale before. And the reason he followed me is because...
What's his name?
Huh?
What's the streamer's name?
Lester C.
No, it was actually Monster D-Face. Do you know him?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't know if he follows me anymore, but he used to do a lot of Clash of Clans, used to do Clash Royale. I think he went into Fortnite, maybe, and I think that's what she was watching, which is cringe as fuck, but...
He went into Fortnite. He was transported into the game.
Yeah. Well, fuck, I've lost my train of thought now.
You looked him up on Twitter.
Yes, so I reply, and I send a screenshot, and I'm like, oh, this guy, hoping she'll realize the follows you thing on Twitter. And she did, and that's how I got this girl. That's how I tried to pull a girl one time.
What was her name?
Should I say that? I didn't say the dating.
First name.
Alice.
You pursued a girl named
Alice.
Alice?
Uh-huh. I don't...
Was she 87 years old?
No, but...
I guess not. She was on Twitch.
She was... I don't... Can I say it? Probably. I'll say it, and if I can't say it, cut it out. She was Asian, so she has an Asian name, but Alice was like her dubbed English name. That's why it's so shit.
Yeah,
Her
I
dub brain.
love those dubs, right? Somebody like, what's your name? They're like, you don't know how to dub.
Yeah.
And they're like, you can just call me Frank.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool.
So it was one of
Apparently,
those.
that's a common thing with like Chinese businessmen when they come to America. They're like, "Oh, what's your name?" They're like, "Owl."
What?
What?
That was just like a story.
Why is
No, they're
that
usually
funny?
not. They're not like. They don't name themselves after animals. It's like the most generic American names, like Bill.
I'm not sure that was the
Well,
point.
but you're allowed to do anything, so like you're allowed to be owl.
Well, obviously,
Yeah,
her
but
parents gave.
I've never met an Asian person that's like, hey, I'm an Asian business person. My name is
Just
Nighthawk.
because you don't bother to go into Asian communities and meet people,
Yeah,
that doesn't mean I'm wrong.
The funniest thing was
I'm not saying you're wrong.
I got her Instagram, right? And she made fun of my Instagram username, and I'm like, bro, it's just my name and initials and shit. And then I was like, what the fuck is your name? But her name was entered by her actual Asian name, and I felt so fucking bad.
Where was she from in Asia?
Philippines, I think.
Okay, I think it's this isn't my vote, but I think it's true. Just based off of, although I need to be more careful. Like the monster deface detail is huge because like where did you pull that out of?
It's
And
just
then
the guy's name.
but like that would be the beauty of if it was a lie. It was just the most well-crafted detail. Pound, which way are you leaning toward right now?
I'm leaning towards true, but that's the meta part of this game is that it's such especially compared to like the fraternity and fingering a girl's butthole and stuff. It's
Great
such,
stories.
It's such a mild story where nothing really happened that nobody would ever like. Why would he lie about such a mild story? And so that's kind of the meta play is that you make up a boring story to lie about. But I'm leaning true at the moment.
What year was this?
This was 2020, and the only reason I can tell
Oh, you weren't allowed to date girls in 2020. It's a lie.
Huh?
COVID, you weren't allowed to date girls.
No, that's what I was
It's
going to
online.
say. I was saying the reason I was on a dating app is because it's harder to meet girls during COVID.
But monster deface streams.
I don't know what
Fortnite
you're talking about,
now.
Bailey. I've had the exact same
Well,
success
obviously you
rate
followed
during
me
COVID
ages
as outside
ago.
of it.
Somebody go look and see if monster
I don't know if
deface
he
follows
still
Bailey.
does. I'm good.
It's very safe for your story.
Okay.
Very safe. So this girl was watching Monster Deface and told you about it, and then you. Oh Jesus! All right. Why could it be false? Have you dated a girl since then?
Since have I what? What
Did you date
define
this girl?
dated?
Would you say you dated this
No,
girl or
not
just
at all.
talked to?
She was boring as fuck.
So what's the hope with a situation like that? Where did she live? Like in the Philippines?
No, she was here.
Oh, okay. I got you. So it was like a local dating app.
Yeah, I think they all are,
Okay.
in my experience. I don't know.
Well, so you can set your location to like whatever if you're just looking for a online relationship. I think.
Oh.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with dating somebody in a different country that's attracted to women.
That's Asian.
Yeah.
Oh, this is tough, dude. I think it's.
I'm
it's true.
voting true.
Sheesh. Pound?
What are you voting, Pound?
True.
It's fucking false! I got both of you!
The meta play.
I'm so proud.
Wow.
Well
done.
Yeah, the reason I made that story, I don't know. I was in the shower the other day. Pound was like, "Do you have a story?" I'm like, "Fuck no." And I was in the shower, and I'm like, I need a story."
Wow.
I think I might have been on Twitter, and I saw Monster Deface, and I'm like, this is sort of where he doesn't follow me, by the way. That was made up. But
And then Bailey went, "How'd you like a monster D on your face?"
yeah, that was the line. But no, girl totally made up. Yeah, good. I'm proud of that.
Oh, Amy's right. You would never mention you would think it's too cringe to talk about your Twitch to somebody IRL.
Yep, and legit, I would never. Like, I would maybe mention that I stream, but I would never let them know who I am, or even indicate that this person follows me. Like, no. Philippines not it is an Asian country, right?
I know that people from the Philippines are Asian.
Good. Oh, my heart was going.
Wow.
I can't believe
I'm
I got
bummed
both
out.
of
I
you.
still have 0 points.
What made you believe it? Just that I wouldn't lie
The
about
details. Like I said, the details were pretty good.
that? Oh,
That's what kind of sucks about these stories. there was nothing unbelievable
Why the
about that story. All of that was completely realistic.
Why the fuck was her name Alice, though, now that I'm thinking about it?
Okay.
Was that just...
Here is sort of here is where I came up with that. Alice, right? I've recently been watching a show that I think it's called Alice in Borderland. So that's just the first girl's name that came to my head. Totally made up. But then the Asian name detail I actually knew, so I was like, oh, I'll throw that in there and it'll seem believable.
Wait, what do you mean you knew it?
I knew that Asian people had like English names because they have other Asian names.
There you go. Yeah. Anything else you want to add on?
I should have known that that when you said it was in 2020, that was also very suspect to me.
Yeah.
What was sus about that?
Because you're like I couldn't meet girls, so I went on dating apps. It's like, but the dating app is to meet girls. It doesn't make any sense.
But
no, it's just like it would have been too recent. Like Bailey doesn't like to flex his like that, and then the Monster D face was just it was all too. That seemed very 2-3 years ago to be happening. Of you talking to girls and like being an awkward little fuck. You know what I'm saying?
The I can't speak to girls part was entirely like so you'd find it believable. I'll take that. That puts me to 4. DC, you're still on none. DC, if you had to score, you got every one wrong and you haven't fooled either of us.
I mean, there's only been 2. I mean,
no, 3 now.
But
there's been 4.
Well, 3 now, but
yeah, but 3 you could guess on. He's got them all.
Wait, what was Pounds? What was Pounds again?
Mine was the Omegle.
Yeah.
The what?
Omegle story.
Meagle?
Omegle. And we both got it cold. We both said no.
God.
And then you got the fingering the butthole wrong. You're like, yeah, that's true.
Well, all of this, right? All of this is you being awkward with girls, which is extremely believable. So that's, yeah. So don't fault me for just ripping my reality away.
When I was in the shower, I made a little notepad file, and I have like a few stories that are true, and I'll tell, or they're false, and I'm gonna flush out. So I'm preparing. I want to win. Now that last week Pound took it very seriously, I'm like, all right, I'm taking it seriously.
How did I take it seriously?
Well, you took it seriously now as well when you're like, that's such a meta play. Like, come on, bro.
It's not taking it seriously.
Yes, it is. You thought about that so much.
Literally just like the base level of participating.
Yeah, well, so is alliteration. You use that in all the podcast titles, so.
Okay, who's ready for to end on my weekly homeless guy story?
How do you have another one of these?
No, I'm gonna save it for next week. Let's go ahead and play the outro song.
Wow, it's a cliffhanger.
All right, we're done.
We have to play the outro.
Dude, I don't want to have to sing a song every time.
Well, then leave the podcast. That's all you're here for.
That's the only thing that separates us from the animals making podcasts.
Why don't one of you sing?
All right, Bailey, you're up.
Fuck off.
Yeah, Bailey, sing.
I'll do spoken word. All right, so what did we discuss on today's episode?
It's a good question. This episode is really...
Bailey, what did you share?
Not a lot. This was mainly you two.
Yeah, that's every week.
We talked about girl walking away from me really fast.
Okay.
That was not even a story.
Start playing, DC. Start playing. There once was a girl walking really fast. She had the ability to transport through space. I thought I was getting pranked, 'cause this girl was walking faster even though we were at the same speed. Is she a warlock? Does she have the Infinity Stones? No, 'cause those belong to Bailey's nutsack. He's got the Infinity Stones inside his nutsack. He can fuck people on the other side of the globe, 'cause he's got a giant cock. It's 3,000 miles long.
It's true.
We got fucking owned on the true or false portion. Bailey said I had a big D face on my Twitter follows, but he didn't. We got fucking owned today, just like my mom did when Bailey used his cock to fuck a lady in the RV.
I do love sex in a recon vehicle.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the podcast. Make sure to follow us now on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, and Twitch TV.
You've
has been
tuned
Low No
into
Pound.
the BDP podcast, the best damn podcast in the world.
It's really shit.
Oh my god, I'm so sad that it's over. What do I do now? What do I do now?
Smile
And so I take out my phone and I play Clash Royale, and then I get so mad and remember that it's the 5th episode. Is it the 5th?
No.
6.
It's the 6th episode, and I can listen to them all over again. It's the BDP podcast. It's the best damn podcast in the whole world. I love these boys as if they were my own. Look at the... Oh, wait. Look at that girl walk so fast.
She's
Is
quick.
she an alien? Oh wait, what else did we talk about? One other thing?
The Bible story, the dating app, the fast girl.
the town of Sodom.
Hey there guys, welcome back to another episode of the BDP podcast. My name is DC the Boss, and alongside me I have Bailey V and Low No Pound. Today we're
Alright,
gonna
boys,
talk
we're gonna
about...
be doing a little song for you guys tonight.
You ever notice as you walk down the street, hey, there's a Subway, hey, there's another one. Maybe I should get a chicken ham sandwich with some cucumbers on the side. I'll have your cucumber chicken ham sandwich. Said nobody ever.
It's good.
He doesn't know what's on the KFC menu. I'll tell you what, it's a bowl of mashed potatoes and chicken and gravy. Make a juicy Lucy and you'll be feeling lazy. It's the BDP podcast.
Remember the name?
BDP podcast.